Have you ever had a moment when everything on the outside looked okay, but deep down, you knew something was breaking? This podcast is about that moment. The moment where everything shifts, the moment when you finally say, enough. Welcome to The Turning Point. Real conversations about recovery, purpose, and finding your way back to yourself. I'm your host, Humpy Gem, and I'm so glad you are here. Have you ever had a moment where everything seemed fine on the outside, but inside you were falling apart? That was me. For years, I pretended to be fine. For years, I told everybody everything's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I'm great. I'm glad. But on the inside, I just knew that I was falling apart. It's so funny how people do their best to hide their pain. On the outside, it's perfect and dandy. On the inside, they're crying for help. Question to you. Have you ever smiled in public and then 10 minutes later you're inside your car crying your eyes out? Because something happened, something went wrong. Before we go any further, I wanted to tell you about who I am and why I started this. I'm not here because I'm a guru. I'm not here because I have all the answers. I'm here because I lived it. I sat in silence, in the shame, in the addiction, in confusion, but I've also felt grace. I've experienced a gift, not overnight, but slowly, over time. And that shift became my turning point. For me, the turning point wasn't rock bottom. It wasn't some flashing lights or some dramatic effect like a soap opera kind of deal. It was much quieter than that. I remember the day specifically, that moment specifically. It was the night when I finally realized I was tired of pretending. Like, it's very simple. I was tired of pretending, tired of being numb, and tired of hiding. Especially hiding from myself, hiding from others. The moment was, looking back at it now, the moment was not surreal, but it was real. It was what real life is about. I sat there, prayed with my sister and my dad. We all cried. It was an emotional breakdown. And from that moment on, I've slowly progressed, as I said. It's not something that happens overnight. I remember looking in the mirror and I didn't even recognize myself. And worst, I didn't like the person I had become. That's when something whispered in me. There had to be something more than just this. There had to be more than what I was experiencing. And that whisper that night became my decision. A decision that completely changed my life. Growing up, I was the kid who wanted to try everything. I wanted to experience everything. I wanted people to be happy with me. I wanted people's approval. I also grew up in a very loving family. An amazing mom and dad that really took care of me and wanted the best for me. An amazing sister that still, till this day, will do anything to make sure her big brother is doing his best. Migrating into this country when I was 8 years old, growing up in LA in the 90s, and just experiencing life, things sometimes take a wrong turn. Over time, you start building this mask, and this mask becomes who you are. It's almost like pretend, but it really isn't pretend. Some people do a really good job of hiding themselves behind this mask, and they go through life just living the way it is, and sometimes is questionable. The first time I realized when something was wrong was, I remember the day clearly. It was when my twin girls were born. I was already freaking out. I was awoken by my late brother-in-law, and he said, "Dude, wake up, her water broke." So I just got up, I ran over, and there she was, and it was a very traumatic moment. We went to the hospital. Girls were born premature. They were in the NICU for almost a month, a little bit over a month. I remember that day when my girls were born, I had called my mom and I said, "Hey, come over, just stay with her while I go home and rest." And I remember making the decision while I was driving home that I was going to drink. And I remember pulling up, just kind of like settling in, doing the best that I can to calm myself down. Man, cabinet opened up, grabbed the bottle, and I started chugging it. And that was the first time that I remember that I drank from a bottle. And ever since then, I've dealt with this anxiety, pain, emotional disgrace, emotional abundance. There's so much that goes on with me. But as I build my story up, and as you guys start listening to me and understanding who I am, you'll get to see bits and pieces of me and who I was and who I want to be, and how this path has led me here. So what led to my turning point? As I said, it was that one night when I was with my sister and we prayed. And leading up to that day, I remember having trouble at work, stuff that I had done that I'm so ashamed of. And it was just, I didn't want to come home. I didn't want to face anybody. I just wanted to hide. I wanted to hide and drink. And that drink, that alcohol was making me happy at that time. And I've tried sobriety before. I've gone year and a half specifically without drinking. There's been months, as they say in AA. Tried beer, tried only wine, and tried only drinking on the weekend, tried only drinking it. Once you have this, that's it. You have it. And sometimes it's DNA programmed. Sometimes it's in your genes. And there's a lot behind this that I want to discuss as we move along, as I do more research into why this happens to people. Why do we become addicts? Why are we addict prone? I don't want to be inspirational. I just want to be honest with you guys and just say how I feel. And as it was, I don't want to sugarcoat anything. The change didn't happen overnight, but that night changed something in me. That night definitely led to where I'm now and how I'm speaking with you. So why does this podcast exist? This show was born out of that turning point that I had. All messy, beautiful, and painful growth that followed it. There are a lot of recovery podcasts out there, and they're fantastic. Some of them are just really down to earth, really explanatory. But I wanted something different. I wanted a space that was honest and not polished. Like I said, I don't want to sugarcoat things. Spiritual, but not preachy. I'm not here to sell you God. God needs to exist in your life. Practical, but still rooted in my heart. I want things to just be natural for you guys, where you guys are able to connect with me and my story. The turning point is for anyone who's been through something and wants to come out on the other side a little bit more whole. It's for people in recovery, whatever recovery looks like to you. But as I go through this podcast and as you get to understand what I'm trying to build here, recovery has many different facets that we don't realize. And I want to stress this. Recovery is not something that happens in a month at rehab or happens in a year in AA. You're in recovery for the rest of your life. And that's never going to change. If you think you're any different, you're not. I promise you. There is a very select few that might be able to do it, that are super strong-willed. But recovery is lifelong. So it's for people in recovery, whatever recovery looks like. It's for people healing from trauma, healing from the shame, the addiction, or just healing from life. Sometimes life just throws shit at you and you have to deal with it. I created this podcast because I needed it. Honestly, I did. And I thought, if I needed it, I believe someone else does too. And that's why we're here, right? We're here because we want to be real and we want to be effective. And we want to build a community of people who are like-minded, like-experienced, and we're open to anyone that wants to come in and be a part of this. I don't want to call it movement, but part of this journey that we're on. Hence the turning point journey. That's why we're here. So why now? What made me finally decide to do this? Well, it was based out of a need. It was my need to vent my emotions, vent my frustration with what I was dealing with, and also in a community, learn together. That's kind of why I wanted to do this. And I wish while I was going through my struggle, I had listened more to what people had to say. I've realized that I always go back and come to terms with, that was a good point. I should have followed that. I should have done this. You know, we could do shoulda, coulda as much as we want to, but you're here now. That's all that matters. And for me, healing is layered. And this podcast is kind of the place for that. For the in-between moments, not just the before and after. It's for everything else that goes along with it. And the before, we can talk about all we want and contemplate on it, but that's never going to change. It's the after that you can make a big difference and change. So I invite you to look at the bigger vision here, thinking about how things are more layered than it is more like step by step, just like kind of AA teaches you, step 1, step 2, step 3, but expanded version of that. I don't want you to just to listen. And I don't want you to just to take this podcast for what it is. I want you to feel safe. I want you to be invited into what I have to say. And I want you to feel like you're a part of it too. Again, this is more of a community that I want to build. So your feedback is very important to me. So now let's talk about who this podcast is for. This podcast is for the person hiding behind their addiction. The listener that's listening right now and saying, yeah, I kind of been hiding behind that. I feel stuck. It's for anyone who's been in therapy for years or anyone who's been to rehab, recovery, AA, IOP, and still feels kind of stuck. You know, it's for the person who doesn't resonate with AA too much, or resonates with AA, but for little bits and pieces here and there, but still wants to heal, or thinks AA is not working for them, but they want to try something different. They want to go down a different path. I want to tell you that you're not alone. This is not something that you have to experience alone. Recovery is a process of finding out who you are and knowing that you're not alone in the process. It's more about being in discovery mode, but knowing that there's people that are backing you up and there for you. And it's kind of what I want to build. I want to build an area where you can just come and be connected to whoever's on that same level as you. Maybe you've said, I'm fine, so many times. I have. I'm fine, to the point where you almost believed it, but not really. Gotta let you know that you're not fine. You're not fine at all. You need work. We all need work. We all need to come to an understanding that this is a journey. So again, I have to say, you are not alone. We're in this together. So message me, share your thoughts about what type of topics you want to discuss, listen to. I would love to get into different segments and share this journey with all of you guys. Here is what you can expect from this show. And I hope this show can be your turning point. Some weeks I'll share solo episodes, real talk, raw reflections, and some lessons from my own personal journey. Other weeks I'll try to bring in guests. I hope to collaborate with a lot of people in different fields, from psychologists to therapists to even doctors. I'll bring in people with their own personal stories, their personal recovery paths, the people in an AA. Some weeks I'll put together tools that you can utilize to go throughout your day without feeling that you are helpless. And I also want to provide insight that can help you find your own turning point. I want to try to give you the perspective from the medical field, from the psychologist. And I've always wanted to understand how they view us. So I want to bring in people that can give us that insight of how we are viewed and what we do to kind of combat some of the problems that you face. Some of these guys are just top-notch and professionals, and I would love to learn from them and see what they have to say about how to progress in life and deal with it. We'll talk about relapse and regrets. We'll talk about boundaries and burnouts. We'll talk about parenthood and forgiveness, spiritual growth, mental health, and how to rebuild your life one honest step at a time. It's about taking that one single step first and then slowly building one step over the other. Hence the word of this podcast, one choice. Every episode will be grounded in one idea: that healing is possible, change is real, and that your story matters, even the messy parts. Let me also say what this podcast is not. It's not about pretending. It's not about performing. It's not about me fixing you or me fixing people. This isn't a highlight reel. It's your soul reel. You're going to hear my real voice, my real process, and sometimes my real pain. But you also hear something else. Hope. Not the fake kind. The kind you fight for. The hope that makes you want to be better. I'm not the perfect example. I'm definitely not the perfect example, but I am just like you. I've gone probably through the same things you've gone through. Worse than you, maybe not worse than you, but just like you. I don't want to present myself as a perfect expert. I'm not an expert, but I am someone who's real and I am someone who's going through recovery. So you can talk to all the experts you want, but you're not going to get the real story. They're just going to either want to sell you something or just tell you what you want to hear. But with me, you'll get the truth. And I want to reassure you that you don't need to fix everything right away. You don't need to fix things before you listen to me. All you need to do is just be here. Just listen. Get your ideas, take notes, don't take notes, share it with people, be a part of the community. Share your thoughts, share your feelings. Hey, you might even inspire somebody to want to make a change with your story. Why not? So let's talk about Turning Point Journey and who we are. This podcast is just one part of a bigger journey. Not a movement, but definitely a journey. The bigger picture of a community that I want to build and I want to be a part of. The Turning Point Journey is also a YouTube channel. It's an online course where you can join and do plans in recovery, starting from the beginning to the end, and then rinse and repeat. Just do it all over again or gain a different perspective. Updated shows that I'm going to instill in the program as we go along, as we build as a community. It's also a journal workbook that's very similar to AA's 12-step. It is not AA's 12-step, but it's very similar to it with additions and deeper insight and more work that you can do to make yourself better. You're going to write into this and reflect on it more and more as you go along in your journey. And it's filled with practical tools. I'm going to put together a 5-day reset guide for you to download for free. Turning Point Journey and podcast is also a place for people who want that motivation. They want that momentum. They want meaning. They want someone to walk the road with them, maybe even hold their hand and walk the road with them. Hey, we're going to offer that. Everything I create from experience, from the love I have for wanting to help people just like you, and from the belief that this doesn't happen alone. Definitely not alone. That's one thing I've learned is you can't do this alone. So why did we call it Turning Point? You know, we were going back and forth with different names, and I was talking to my sister and a friend, and we were discussing names that would have been perfect for this experience, this journey. And the Turning Point came about so many times. And I kind of developed it into the Turning Point Journey because, one, it's a journey, 100%. 2, there has to be a turning point for you. If you don't develop this turning point somewhere down the line, whether it's now, later, or you've already developed it, recovery is not going to be there for you, my friend. You need to try. You need to push forward. I want to talk a little bit more about what we're building here in the community. I kind of touched base on it. The online course, definitely that's going to be coming soon, mid next year, maybe earlier, if I can push forward with it. I definitely want to build a community where everybody can join together. The workbook is something that's definitely going to be an important part of our process. The workbook alone is going to have its own community and people that help each other with the different steps and different practices that I have in there. I'm also going to be offering one-on-one practices for the workbook and also one-on-one coaching. I'm not trying to do a sales pitch here, but this is an overall ecosystem of different things that this community can have access to. And I'm just so happy and so proud that I can provide this to you guys. This isn't a funnel. It's a framework. I'm building from the ground up something that's tangible and viable, and you can easily use it. And the story behind the workbook is, as I was going through AA and I talked to a bunch of sponsors and people that were giving me pointers on what I need to do, what not to do, and how AA is just so autonomous and every group kind of governs itself. There is no practical workbook. And that's part of the problem that I saw right away as I was in AA. It's great. It's amazing. You get to meet people on so many different levels, but there's no framework. I'm not trying to build a framework for AA, but I want to build a framework for you. I want to build the framework that works for you and customize it to what I think that needs to be there that's not there. And that's kind of like how the workbook came about. I also want to invite you to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I show up there unfiltered sometimes, and I want you to come and say hi. Give me your feedback on what you guys like and what you don't. Our Instagram tag is at Turning Point Journey. Pretty much all the tags are going to be at Turning Point Journey or /Turning Point Journey. TurningPointJourney.com is the website. TurningPointJourney.com/podcast is the actual website for the podcast, where you'll kind of have the updated episodes besides downloading it on all the platforms that I have access to. So yeah, I invite you to come say hi. Just touch base with me. If this episode spoke to you, do me a favor. Subscribe, follow wherever you're listening from, and leave a quick review. Even one sentence goes a long way. I promise you. It goes a long way for me, for the community, and for the alcoholic that's still struggling. If you know someone who's at their turning point, send them this episode. You never know. That one share could do a big difference for them. I have a lot planned for the year ahead and the year to come. Might be a steady, slow build, but have patience with me in the path forward. I promise you it'll be well worth it. And for anyone listening, I would love your input. Any type of input, even critical ones, are important to me. I also want to emphasize how reviews also help other people find the show. So again, I would love to hear from you. Just let me know what you think. I read every single message. This isn't a big brand, just one human talking to another. So here's what I want to leave with. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a moment of truth, a breath of courage, the willingness to want to try again. The turning point isn't some faraway destination that you have to search for. It's right here. It's in this moment. In your next decision that you're going to make. And the way you showed up today to even listen to me. So take a breath. Take a step back. And welcome to the turning point. Thank you for sharing this space with me. If this episode stirs something in you, maybe a little spark, I hope you'll stick around. Again, this is a journey. You don't have to do it alone. Subscribe to the Turning Point podcast so you don't miss what's coming next. We're just getting started, and so are you. So until next time, one step, one choice. Make it your turning point.